Hey guys, what's up? It's Taylor. Welcome to my channel. So today we're going to talk about one of the fitness certifications out there, which is CFSC. So I have some exciting news. I'm officially a certified personal trainer because I completed one of my certifications. So this was for CFSC. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this certification because there are so many out there that you can get. The main ones are NASM, ACE, and ISSA, with NASM and ACE being, I believe, the most popular. Those are the two that I hear the most about and that I hear people kind of debating between. And currently I'm actually working to get my NASM certification, but this specific one was so much different than the online courses, and I wanted to talk a bit about it. So CFSC is partially online, and then the second half of it is actually an in-person workshop where everything's hands-on. When I was trying to figure out what certification I wanted, I was looking online to figure out what was better between NASM and ACE. Really, those were the two that I was kind of contemplating, and then I ended up going with NASM just because it seemed to be more widely accepted in the area that I was training in, so I ultimately went with that. When I did choose which gym I wanted to practice at, they really were adamant about getting the CFSC certification, and it just focuses more on functional training, alignment, and it's a little bit more modern, I would say. One of CFSC's main sayings is do no harm. They really want to make sure that we are putting our clients in practical, functional movements. So the idea is that you are safely working with your clients and they're not reinventing the wheel. They just simply focus on making sure that the body is in alignment and that every exercise that you are doing has a purpose and has a why behind it. So I'll add a link to the CFSC website below if you have any more questions or you want to check it out. But to sum it up as quickly as I can, they basically focus on the functionality of training and how to best cue your clients to get them into the positions that you want them to be in and ensure that you have a good sense of progressions and regressions for clients so that everyone can be exercising safely at their level. A huge thing that differentiates them is they do have the hands-on practical, which most certifications don't have that aspect. If you don't live in an area where it's held, then you do have to travel, but that extra added hands-on practical, I think, makes the certification that much more valuable because not only did you just sit in front of a computer and read a ton of material and then take an online exam, but you actually went somewhere and proved that you can take those learnings and implement them. Overall, if you can do it financially, in a perfect world, I think it would be most ideal to initially take a certification such as NASM or ACE, where you are learning basic exercise science, you're learning all about the cardiorespiratory system, you're learning all about the neuromuscular system, you are learning all of the muscles that pertain to exercise and how they work together. And then once you have that baseline knowledge, then taking something like CFSC, where you are really learning how to be a good instructor and how to cue people and really understanding when and why to use regressions and progressions. I think that CFSC takes it to a whole nother level. There's so much valuable information. The one thing that it doesn't have is that basic exercise science, which you could make the argument that you don't need all of that science knowledge to be a good fitness coach, and I would disagree. I think that it is really important to understand those things, and having as much information as possible just makes you more valuable to your clients. So with the online material, it is a lot of material to get through. There is an online exam at the end. You have to get 80% of it correct. You can't miss that many, and having some be specific to the lectures themselves, you could still fail the exam if you hadn't watched the material. So it's important to go through and watch all of it. Also, why would you not watch it? Because that's the material that you essentially are paying to learn. So then once you pass the exam, you are pretty much clear to just make it to your workshop. Most people travel to get to this workshop, so there really were people from all over the East Coast. The workshop was about 8 hours long with an hour break for lunch. Throughout the workshop, there were little stations and you learn something specific at each one. One is like about foam rolling, and one is about dynamic stretches and dynamic warm-ups and plyometric training. And then finally you have your strength training at the end of the day. Your instructor shows you the proper way to do the exercise and then gives you some progressions and regressions. And then you practice and demo and move to the next station. And then at the end, you have a hands-on exam where the instructor will ask you about a handful of the things that we learned. They ask you to demonstrate it, cue it, and then ask some progressions and regressions of each one. So the exam itself is very, very quick, but you want to make sure that you're focusing all day on each exercise and how to cue it and what a regression and progression would be for each one, because there are not many questions. If you forget one exercise, you could fail the entire exam. So you want to make sure that you really, really know everything and that you understand. And if you don't know something throughout the day, then ask your instructor for verification and make sure you feel comfortable. And then once you complete your exam, you literally get your certification and you can walk on out and go home. And that's that. Okay, so pros and cons for CFSC. Is it worth spending your money? Pros, super fun staff. It was such a fun experience. Got to meet new people in my industry that are in this region and get to ask them questions about their experience as fitness trainers and kind of get some insight about how other people in the region are doing things. We got hands-on work, which is really great because when I finished NASM, I was really nervous to get started because nothing of that is in person. It's all reading, watching some videos, and then you're certified. It felt really good in this certification to work with another fitness trainer and cue them through what you wanted them to do and then get that immediate feedback. That hands-on opportunity was so valuable. Also got to ask questions to some of the leading experts in this industry. And it's just more knowledge. So many pros, in my opinion. I think it was a really great experience. I really didn't have that many cons. I think that some of the lectures for the online material could be a little bit better quality. And then, as I was saying before, these workshops are live and they're not in every single city. So you do need to kind of look at the upcoming schedule and just figure out what might be best for you as an individual. If you are not in one of the cities that the workshops are in, you will need to travel if you want to complete this. Most people drove to this event, but since the event does start at 8 in the morning, most people that traveled stayed in a hotel the night before, because not only is it early, but you do need a good night's sleep and you need to be well rested because it is a very long day of learning a lot of material and you have the exam at the end of the day. So you don't really want to be feeling like groggy or tired and not mentally clear and focused. And then the last one was just the retake fees, which is honestly really normal. I think it pushes me personally a little bit harder to make sure that I really know what I'm talking about because something is on the line. And it's not just like, oh, well, oops, I failed it. I'll just retake it next weekend. It kind of lights a fire under your butt to be like, oh, shoot. Because the retake fee for the Online exam is $25 if you fail that one, and the retake fee for the in-person practical is $100 if you fail that one. In comparison, the retake fee for NASM if you fail is $200. Anyway, retake fees are a thing. We know that. Just wanted to call it out because these certifications are not cheap, so just something good to know going into it. Okay, maybe you're sold on CFSC and you're preparing to go. I have some tips for you. So make sure you have breakfast and coffee or tea, whatever your morning go-to is. It is a long day and you want to make sure that you are focused and not focused on being tired or hungry. I would say bring a lunch if you can, like something so small. Just bring your lunch so you can sit down for the hour that you have, the hour break, and focus, kind of recap what you have already learned, relax, take a breather, and then you can stroll back in and kind of hit the ground running for the most important part of the day, which is the strength training portion. The exam is heavily weighted on that information. Bring a decent sized water. You're moving around all day. Wear comfy exercise clothes. You are moving all day, and many people there were actually breaking a sweat. So something comfy, sweat wicking.